amazing segment of Muslimah Spills, and it's still the same faces that you saw in the very first episode. Today we are taking it up from where we stopped the very last time, and we still have the same faces on the show. This is Khadija, I am Bushra, she's Habiba, and that is Asmaau. We're going to be discussing today priorities of the early century Muslimah. Just like we discussed in the very previous episode, we looked at those in that generation, and now we want to see what's different with people in this generation, or if they were able to really keep up with the legacies from the previous generation. So today we have two similar names with different surnames, and right? Yes. So what's the first name that we're discussing today?
Zaynab bint Ahmad Al-Kamal.
Okay, and then there's
Zaynab bint Umar Al-kindi.
Great. So we're looking at these two Zaynabs. What exactly do we want to look at in their life? Why are they worthy of discussion in this period?
Well, for me, Zaynab bint Kamal was a child prodigy. She's somebody who, you know, just like we talked about Aisha, that she was good and then she was young and she did all this. Zaynab bint Kamal was even younger, you know.
Oh.
She got her first ijaza, that is her first permission knowledge, when she was 1 year old.
Wow, at age 1?
And I'm sure that at that age, of course, she couldn't think of doing that. It means that somebody did that for her.
Yes.
A father or a mother.
Well, at least from what we read, somebody must have done that for her. Okay.
So she got it at age 1. And then at age 2, she also got another ijaza.
Wow.
To continue. And from then on, ahead, she was somebody whose life was filled with seeking for knowledge.
I mean,
and
I feel like she was just
it.
Obsessed with it. I mean, from age 2 to age 6,
okay,
she was moving from scholars to learn from them. From age 6 to age 12 she moved to another set. She even, by then she was between age 6 and 12, she was moving cities from Aleppo to Alexandria to Sham. I mean, she was just moving around and then tapping from knowledge.
You will see that the zeal was there. She was really wanted to. Oh, that's a great one.
I think the similarity between the two of them is that both of them taught popular male scholars that we refer to. I mean, the two of them taught Ibn Hajar Asqalani.
Wow.
At one point, he passed to the two of them.
Yeah.
I mean, Zaynab Al-Kindi taught a scholar that taught Al-Asqalani too.
Not even directly. She taught somebody that taught him.
So and then he learnt directly from Al-Kamal. So they were so influential that the male scholars didn't have a choice. They just had to listen to them. You know, that's something we don't find now.
It's not common within us at all to find females who have really gained such prominence. Because for them to have taught scholars that we reckon with, they are probably very exceptional at what they do.
Yes, they are.
Well, those two females, Zaynab, I'm thinking of, what do you think?
And they were in the same, like, you want to have a baby girl.
I'm thinking of it, you know, that's Zaynab. I'm beginning to rethink it,
and
actually.
They were in the same area district.
Damascus,
which is the present day Syria. Will you consider that?
I'll rethink it. But you know, there's something, I feel that they both must have probably had influence on each other. You know, the way we look at, or indirectly, the way you find in the same place. That's another thing we really need to learn from, you know, like find people who are doing similar things like you and try to work together. It makes it easier, or mentors or role models. That's a very nice one. So, do you have anything to add?
Kowalik, the teacher of Al-Asqalani, studied the whole of Sahih Muslim from this particular woman, Zaynab Al-Kindi.
Wow.
And I think it's such a high feat.
It's a huge achievement. The whole of Sahih Muslim. Yeah. The book is in volumes. Is it not Sahih Muslims? So, the whole of
it has 10 volumes, if I'm right.
Allah Akbar. Okay, so well, it's a good one. You know, at least we're encouraged by the feats that these women have actually achieved. So there's still another person that we're supposed to discuss, and I know that this is going to be like a whole lot of discussion. Somebody's already excited because it's like something we all want to talk about. So there's this another female scholar, Nana Asmaau bint Fodio. The name kind of Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I mean, this one
It's
is
homely.
this personality is interesting because that's locally.
Exactly.
We can all give
Okay.
ourselves excuse. And
So
say,
she's not
okay,
from
these
Damascus?
people- No,
No.
she's from
Really?
our Nigeria.
From Nigeria?
Yeah.
I'm so interested.
So
Really?
So
Okay.
we can all give excuses and say, okay, these people are in the they're Arabs, and
Yeah.
They were in the
That's-
so-called
yes.
Islamic.
so Arabic is their
That's true.
language,
And
and
they
then
could
so
easily
it's
get
very easy
things.
for them to understand. But this is somebody that is not an Arab, and then she's a Nigerian, and
He's a
then,
black.
Yes,
She's a
so-
Hausa woman.
Really?
And she
She's
was
from the north.
Magnificent, yes. And I love her story.
I know you love it when it comes to Hausa females.
Yes.
You know, I'm wondering, you know,
Yes.
Asmaau. Seriously.
And then who she was named after, so that's another story entirely.
Yes,
But
she was named after
was
Asmaau
particular-
bin
yeah,
Bakr.
yes.
That was
very
Allahu
particular.
Akbar.
They just picked that name. They named her after Asmaau bint Bakr.
I'm gathering the list of names, but continue. We'll still get to that.
To me, she was a magnificent woman. She's somebody we should all, you know, look forward to be, because she embodies our atmosphere. We can relate with whatever challenges she was
Yes,
related
yes.
with.
That's
So
true.
it's not an excuse. We don't have
cultural
any excuse
expectations.
not to gain.
See, allow me direct this to Asmaau. Apart from the fact that she's your namesake, what exactly do you find fascinating about this person?
She's multilingual.
Multilingual, really?
Yes.
How many languages does she speak?
Four. She could speak Arabic.
4
She
languages.
had comprehensive knowledge of Arabic.
Wow.
And of course, she could speak Hausa, she could speak Fulfulde, and then she had a passing communicative knowledge about Tamashek. That's the language of the Tuareg.
I was about to ask what's Tamashek.
So she
Oh.
could easily, you know, talk with different
It was
people,
easy for her to
disseminate
communicate.
knowledge,
Yeah.
different sets of people. I think to me that's one of the things that I love most about her.
Wow.
Well, what I love about her is the fact that she was very aware of her environment. I mean, her father was the founder of the Sokoto Caliphate.
Yeah.
And then she outlived the founding generation of the Sokoto Caliphate.
Wow.
After her father died, her brother was the one that ascended to the throne. And then she was a counsel, like
yeah.
she was an advisor to.
She must have really worth that position, you know.
So yes. You know, the brother would come back to her to seek for advice about how to go about things. So it means that when her father was there, she was paying attention to the way things were done.
Run, and that's why
She
they
was paying
could ask
attention to
her.
the way the caliphate was run. I mean, she was a very key factor in the values that make up the present day Sokoto Caliphate. She's a very important aspect of their history. So she was a political leader in her own right, and then she was a writer. I think
an
that she
icon.
interests you.
Yes, well, I was thinking somebody was going to mention it. The fact that she's a poet and she's a writer. I learned she's authored
60 books.
Yeah.
16 or 60.
60.
She's authored 60 books.
Yeah.
My dear, what are you doing with your life? Because I'm wondering, seriously, you know, we really have a history that is rich. We have people that we can actually fall back to, people we could learn from. And yet we feel that the society is porous and there are nothing good we can actually learn. She has written 60 books. That's beautiful.
And it would be interesting to note that she didn't allow her marriage to limit her achievements. Most of the books she wrote was accompanied by the birth of a child.
Wow.
Yeah, her first book accompanied the birth of her first son.
Allah
the same thing for
Akbar.
her second book, and I think her fifth book, she received a grandchild and she also gave birth that time.
Allahu
So you can
Akbar.
imagine.
That's huge.
Yeah.
You know, imagine combining childbirth with all of the, you know, it's even an excuse that, it's an excuse that anybody will feel that, even if I tell you that I just put to bed, you will excuse me now. Writing book, you know, now feeling that those things were coming together at the same time. She must have really been a strong woman, you know.
Superwoman.
She was
She's
a
an
girl
icon.
child advocate.
Yeah.
I love that part.
An advocate
Yes.
of women must learn, not
We-
just me.
not
I should
just
not be the
women,
singular
girl child.
learning woman, rather. People in my area, what I know, my women must know. Simply because she recognizes the fact that once a woman knows, the whole world will get better, because it is the women that will teach the men.
That's true.
And
That's
for her, knowledge without sharing is empty.
Yes.
That's
I think
that's
that's something that we really need to reiterate in this current, dispensation that we find ourselves, because a lot of times we just find ourselves learning, like, you have a first degree, you have your second degree, and you begin to wonder what exactly
of such knowledge.
what exactly have people around you benefited from all your certificates, and these days we find it so easy to enroll for certificate courses, very 6-week certificate online courses. They are very easy to come by, and we don't even look at how these things can translate to affecting people that are around us. Wow, that's a very good one.
I just want to chip in here. The fact that, what is prevalent in the North now is that most of their female folk do not go to school.
Very true.
That is sad.
Very sad.
That is one of the things that this woman really, really, really worked against. She had a group of women that she taught. This group of women moved from community to community to community to ensure that knowledge is spread around. So the question is, what excuse do we have, especially my sisters in the North? What excuse? What went wrong?
At what point did we miss it?
Because this is a vital part of their knowledge, of their history rather. In fact, the president, the governor of Sokoto, is building a university in her name.
Allahu Akbar.
That's important in their history.
How did all of that just go to waste? Like, people just forget that there was once a time where we had females championing the cause of education.
In the Hausa land,
it must have really been something.
We really need to, look back to
chart
a
it,
better
retrace
future.
our steps, and recollect our history.
That's true. We have a history that so many people have forgotten, and that's why Muslimah Spills is relevant at this particular period, discussing this thing, so that, especially for our sisters in the North, it's a challenge for them. It's time for them to actually rewrite history on the golden pages of the world, and let people know that female Muslims have always been, at the forefront of things like this, and we should not push ourselves to the background. I feel that it's about education, people knowing exactly what to do and how to do it. Because they feel that if they come out now, it's going to look as if, it's just you. Have you ever heard it before in history? And people are easily intimidated.
To that, there's a particular portion of her that I read that during the 19th centuries, as in the 1900s, when the British came, they were the one that remodeled the system of education, focusing more on the boys.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that, I guess that must have been where the gap came about.
Yes.
Wow, I really like this edition because it's like focusing on something we could really relate with, especially since it has to do with. So I think Nana Asmaau bint Fodio really did a whole lot, to encourage and set the pace for female Muslims to be able to do something tangible and worthwhile. So we can't end this edition without, giving our viewers out there something to take home with. So Khadija, what do you have to tell us?
I think that what I have to tell the viewers is that you just have to, you don't have an excuse, you have to keep striving to acquire knowledge.
Okay.
Relevant knowledge, let me put it that way. Beneficial one.
That's very important.
Yes, beneficial knowledge, acquire knowledge, and then be consistent at what you do. Keep doing what you do. Before you know it, the society will be forced to reckon with you. You'll be a force to reckon with.
Yeah.
I mean, if you won't have any choice, you become an icon. You become a reference point, and they'll just have to refer to you. But first, work on yourself.
Very important. First, work on yourself, and before you know it, you will become a reference point. If you have missed out on this episode, watch out for more interesting episodes. It's still Muslimah Spills. Thank you for staying with us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.